And I am just so excited for next year, the kind of people we can learn from and really stepping up our myth smash, right? Like, we don't have time to hang out and talk about is the MQL dead or not. We're going to roll up the sleeves and do marketing right. And I firmly believe that marketing is inherently broken. We have lost sight of what we need to do.
Oh yes, this is the Hardcore Marketing Show. I'm Casey Cheshire, your host for this epic journey. Today's show is sponsored by Ringmaster, on a mission to launch B2B podcasts that create relationships, generate revenue, and drive growth. Ringmasterlive.com. Bam.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Here we are, guys. Here we are. I'm excited. I know I say that every time, but I'm excited this time too. It's a little bit of a different show today. We don't have a guest. It's just me. Why? Because this is a different week, right? This is not your normal everyday week. No matter what you celebrate, something's different. You're probably at home. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're working it. Maybe you're putting in that extra time this week. But it's holidays time, and it's also New Year's time. Things are changing, and years are flipping over. And you know what? That gives me a perfect opportunity to hop on here and share a little message. But you know what? You can't just do that on this show. Why? Because we smash things here, right? So I got to smash something. So I get to pass the hammer to myself. I know that's meta. All right, Casey. Take this hammer and smash for me some kind of myth. For those listening, I want you to know that you listening in just you yourself, you matter. You matter. The myth I want to smash today is that you don't matter. And I got to tell you, you matter to me, and I wish I knew every single one of your names. And if you feel so inclined, send me an email, casey@ringmaster.com. I would love to hear from you. But I want you to know, whether you're an email in my inbox, whether you're someone I bump into on LinkedIn, or you're just one of the numbers that flips over on the stats that show, hey, someone checked out this episode. I want you to know you matter. Like, you doing that brings me joy, because I do this podcast to learn, but it makes me so much happier knowing that other people are learning along with me. If I just had these conversations by myself, I probably would be heartbroken, because you've heard it. There are just some amazing people. Even recently, we had just some absolute savages in the marketing world, smashing things, just shots fired left and right. And like, I'm just crazy thinking about it, that, man, if you listening right now, if you weren't there along on this crazy journey with me, hearing what these guests are saying, and I couldn't share that experience with you, it wouldn't be worth it to me, because I could learn marketing all day, every day, but sharing that experience and learning alongside of you makes it all worth it to me. So I want you to know you matter. The myth is that you don't matter. You do. You absolutely do. And listen, if some guy, and if you're not doing the video right now, I'm literally wearing an ugly Christmas sweater. I've got a green sweater with pom-poms on it. Yeah, for real. And a Santa hat on. Look, if some guy wearing a Santa hat and the ugliest Christmas sweater you will ever see, respect, thinks you're important, and I really do, right? I don't know how I can convey that over the airwaves to you, but I really, really do. If some guy, right, wearing a Santa hat feels that way about you, you know there are other people that probably feel even more. Family, friends, coworkers. But, if you live in a cave and you don't have any of that, I do, right? So I appreciate you. I am so grateful for you. I am so thankful for you, and that's what this episode is. And if you're still listening, thank you for letting me rant about how awesome you are, that you're listening to this pod and you're encouraging me on this journey by just tuning in and learning with me. You matter. You totally matter. What you do matters. Your marketing matters too. If you're a marketer, sales, yeah, you matter. I don't need to talk to you, but marketing, sometimes it's weird, right? You do a campaign and you see that some people joined your webinar, or you your white paper got downloaded. And sometimes it's hard to know if all that hard work actually helps your company. And, marketing's weird because we don't always get the credit because it's a laboratory of constantly evolving and hopefully improving numbers. We don't always get the credit for that. And, not that we want the credit, but it'd be nice to hear it every now and then. Are you with me? Well, I want you to know it matters. It does. I've seen it from the leadership levels, from all the different levels. It matters. What you do matters. Your marketing is awesome. Now, I know not all of us can do marketing for the Peace Corps or an animal shelter, but maybe that's an idea. Maybe some of these places. I don't know if you've seen the marketing for some of your local charities, but sometimes it's just really terrible. Let's be honest, right? It's terrible. It's usually because someone who really cares is not a marketer, and they're doing the best they can, but it's not good. And what happens? Their mission suffers. So, that might be an idea to think about as you come into this new year of what could you do and how could you help out? I'm going to start doing some podcasts for some friends and some causes that I believe in the new year. How could you lend a marketing hand to a group that maybe needs to get the word out? Maybe they're absolutely amazing and their mission is incredible. And it's not quite coming through on that email or on their website built with Lincoln Logs from the 80s, right? Maybe that's something you could do. I find that as I get older, I keep thinking about contribution. Like, how can I contribute? And maybe, when I've done marketing for a software company that makes software that helps other people make software, sometimes it can be hard to understand just what am I doing? Well, you are helping a company full of people keep their jobs and maybe improve their jobs. But if you're feeling that itch to really, really contribute, hey, find a nonprofit nearby. They're not going to say no. And if they do, email another one. That's probably their problem. But for the most part, you're going to get people that just are like, really? Do you want to help me out? Yeah, but do it for a cause you really believe in, one you really care about. And then let me know about it. Maybe we get you on the show here next year. And you can tell us all about how you've really just sort of rolled up your sleeves and helped out this cause that you just feel so strongly about. It's one of those causes. Listen, I'm a crybaby more than the rest. I know I'm the hardcore Marine guy, but there's some causes that makes my eyes start to dust up a little bit. But if you have a cause like that, hey, help them out a little bit. Send them an email. I'll be doing the same thing, and I'll be sharing that journey with you next year, 2025. Crazy, right? Crazy. I've been quoted saying 2022, what a cool number. This is going to be a great year. I've been told not to say that about any future years, but I'm really feeling 2025. Normally I like the round numbers, but with all the things that are out there, and we've had to deal with these past couple of years, and I know for me and my family, this has been a rough year, and for all of you out there, if it's been a rough year for you or a rough couple of years, hey, 2025, I feel hopeful about that. I do. I really do. I'm excited. No more of these even numbers. Give me an odd number. Let's go 25. It's a good number. 5 times 5 is 25. As a kid, you're like, what? I don't know my multiplication tables, but I know that one. And I'm really hopeful for next year. So I would just leave you with this. In addition to thinking about who you might be able to contribute to next year, and it doesn't have to be a lot, by the way. You could just be giving them a tip on their website or help them optimize that cart a little bit, right? So they actually get those donations. But consider taking a step back. Take a moment this year before the clock turns 2025. It's very important. Do it this year before the clock turns over. Do a little assessment. I do this every year. I do this assessment. There's this little chart, and it says, how you feeling about yourself across money or health or family or job, and these different, find any kind of chart like that where just, the different categories of your life. Fun, make sure fun's a category, and evaluate. How do I feel? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being woohoo, and 1 being literally. Take stock. how we feeling at the end of this year? Maybe you got some sweet numbers. Maybe some of them are a little lower. But when you do this exercise, I promise you, what's really cool is the clarity. You'll see, wow, I can really appreciate, well, yeah, that's going well. That's going well. That's going well. And eventually, if you do this every year, like I do, I'm not bragging, I'm saying it's important. Do it every year. Throw it in a Google Doc and you keep the same one every time. You do this every year, you'll see improvements. You'll see ones going up like, oh, you know what? My friends have improved. Like I focused on that and it got better, right? So you'll see those and that's really cool. But you'll also see, hey, life's great, but man, I'm struggling here. And, putting a 4 down really shows it to me. Maybe I was trying to hide from that, trying to avoid seeing the fact that, man, this particular part of my life stinks, to put it bluntly. Well, then you know what? Circle that one. And then what I like to do then, after taking stock of how I feel like I'm doing, is make some goals for next year. Make some goals. And the best way to do it is to just write them down. Don't worry if they're crazy. And again, if you make it the same Google Doc, you'll see year after year after year, different goals and things you want to push on. And it may not happen in that year, but you've written it down. And I promise you, there are things, if I look back on this document that I have, many, many, many years ago, I thought, you know what? I think I want to write a book on marketing automation. And literally, I wrote that down. And I didn't have really much more than that idea in my head, but it was in there, it was in there, it was in there. And many of you know, now I have a book. It's on Amazon. What? Am I very, very weird to have it on there and to have so many of you have written reviews on it. Like, thank you. Wow. But it wasn't magic. It was that I kept saying, this is something I want to do. This is something I want to do. And it kept making my goal sheet. And eventually it happened. So I want to encourage you, big or small. Now, by the way, I did write one down saying I want to learn how to juggle. And I've only gotten up to 2 things. I can juggle 2 balls, and that third one is still eluding me. But you know what? I got really good at juggling too. But so cut yourself some slack, give yourself some grace, but put something down. There's something about writing it down. Sends that signal out to the universe. It just says, you know what? This is important. And you'll see doors start opening and things start happening. It's amazing. So amazing. So anyways, that's there's not too many things I can recommend, but that exercise has been something I do, just personally on my own every year. And it's just been so powerful, especially looking back and seeing Casey 8 years ago and going, man, you don't even know what's around the corner, but man, I'm so glad you did this and this and this. So I know it was a rant. And if you're still with me, thank you. But I want you to know, you really matter. And I'm just excited. This is it's a special episode, and I just wanted to share some thoughts. I mean, I'm so appreciative of everything. My health, my family, my friends, my team here at Ringmaster, absolute warriors, badasses, crazy cool producers. And you know what? I've worked with some people, some past team members have been great too, and I'm just excited to see everyone and all their careers growing and taking on the planet. So yeah, just my heart full of gratitude, right? I start this thing, be like, yeah, let's go. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm getting sappy. I got to end this thing before I start crying on the air in front of you. But I just want you to know, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this. We are not going anywhere. And I am just so excited for next year, the kind of people we can learn from and really stepping up our myth smash, right? We don't have time to hang out and talk about is the MQL dead or not. We're going to roll up the sleeves and do marketing right. And I firmly believe that marketing is inherently broken. We have lost sight of what we need to do. We have lost sight of the human connection. And I am going to be focused on this like a crazy person, like the crazy uncle at Christmas. Can't shut up about this topic. Human connection. Let's connect. Send me an email, casey@ringmaster.com. I just want to send you some love, tell you thank you, hear who you are, but human connection. Stay tuned, y'all. Next year is going to be an absolute powerhouse. I am so excited for it. I'm like dying to hop into it, but at the same time, I'm grateful for this year. It's taught me a lot of lessons, a lot of like the hard lessons, but man, I feel stronger coming out through that. So, all of you out there in podcast land, God bless. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. We'll see you all next year.